Sport fans, I'm Michael Sakala.
And I'm Brandon Wickern. Welcome back.
How the hell's everybody been? How you been?
Pretty good.
Got the haircut going on, got all
Yeah.
kinds of stuff going on. Did you have a good St. Patty's Day?
Had a good one.
Yeah?
Yep. Went to the ball game.
I seen you guys went there. It was Boston and, who were they playing?
Atlanta Braves.
Atlanta Braves. Good game, good
and then
game.
hit the town after that.
I seen all the pictures, all the funny glasses everybody was wearing. A couple little drinky drinks going on. It's a nice way to...
Jameson's, buddy.
I seen the Jamesons. I seen you. I believe you had the producer waiting outside with the. She was getting, I guess, getting the car air conditioning going. Get a last shot in before you walk on out. So here we are, March Madness.
Been off a little bit. I gotta get back into it.
Yeah, every now and then you got to take a little vacation, I guess. And here we are getting ready for March Madness, and for whatever reason, I'm getting posted up by Michael J himself. I mean, this is where I got to go against. And from what I've been told multiple times since I got here, apparently this is his actual size.
Yeah,
so I guess when you look, I think I come up to like the neck piece right here. So I think I might have to just shoot from a distance. I ain't taking it the whole on Michael, that's for sure.
This is the 20-year anniversary of his comeback game when he couldn't play baseball.
Oh, really?
His first big game back was today. Yeah.
So here we are, basketball fever and March Madness. Pretty much, I'd say, what, 90-some% of the entire country's filled out of brackets. They're all excited, waiting to go.
Probably, yeah.
We had a couple decent games last night. We had a big comeback from who was it?
In the play-in game.
Yeah, it was. I know Hampton won. Oh, and Ole Miss.
Mississippi. Ole Miss.
Came back by 17.
17 down and a half, yeah.
So here we go. Some bracket talks. I guess we'll go with. I guess we can. To sit here and go over each and every game.
Take a long time.
Let's go into our Let's go into our field of 16. What do you got going on for your field of 16?
Okay. I believe I had Kentucky.
I think we're all in agreement that Kentucky will be in the Sweet 16.
Absolutely. Let me just go where you got yours filled in. I had Virginia.
I think West Virginia. I think a lot of people are probably going with West Virginia as well.
I took Notre Dame to upset Kansas.
I got Notre Dame. I also got Kansas. I think.
Oh, that's the 8. Okay.
Yeah, this is. I think everybody's got Kansas.
Wisconsin,
Arkansas, Baylor. I would imagine. Most people are going to have Arizona. We're going to have Villanova, Wyoming.
Now there's where we differed there.
Providence. I guess that might be one of the ones where people Providence and some people might be going to Oklahoma. I think everybody's going to probably go Virginia over Michigan State.
You also did the Wyoming.
I took Wyoming over Louisville.
Yeah. I took Louisville.
I'm hearing there's a couple injuries on Louisville, and it was one of the reasons why I swayed over. And in order to win this, you got to have a couple of I guess upsets. You got to change up a little bit. You can't go all.
And there always is.
Yeah, so, and again, like Providence might be another one where people might have say Oklahoma in there.
Right.
Another one that I took, and I'm a little iffy right now because they're getting hot, is I took Virginia over Michigan State going into the Sweet 16.
I think that's...
I'm sure we're all going Duke at this round. We're all taking Georgetown to this round. Iowa State, and then I guess we finish it off with Gonzaga. Now, getting into the Elite 8,
okay.
I guess we all agree that Kentucky's just going to have too much for West Virginia, and they're going to move on.
Me and you differ. You got Kansas. I got Notre Dame going on.
I'm taking Kansas. I'm thinking they're just going to be a little too much. I'm taking the experience of Wisconsin to go over Arkansas.
I got Wisconsin.
I'm taking there's too much physical play with Arizona and Baylor, so I'm thinking that Arizona is just too physical for them.
Got Nova.
I got Villanova because of their experience and the fact that they got a strong bench over Wyoming. I'm taking the inside strength of Virginia to beat Providence.
I got the rest out of you.
I think it's going to be a tough game with Georgetown and Duke, but I think Duke at the end is going to man up, especially with the man in the middle, Okafor, to move on past Georgetown. And then we got Gonzaga. I think they're just too big in the middle for Iowa State. Then we get into our Final Fours here. You got Kansas, and I got Kentucky playing Arizona.
I got Kentucky playing Wisconsin. So.
You got Kentucky playing, and from what we were talking about earlier, from a lot of the so-called experts on the TVs and et cetera and so on,
we'd like to see that game.
Wisconsin they have two big men in the middle, and they play a tight defense. And the type of defense they play, I believe, just like LSU did, is the one type that can possibly give Kentucky a threat. But Arizona, because of the talent, the speed, and their physical play, it has just the right chemicals to beat a team like Wisconsin. So it'll be interesting to see. This game could be the difference on whether or not Kentucky moves on.
Yeah, I believe so. That's their toughest to that point right there. That's their toughest game they're going to play.
Then I got Villanova beating Virginia.
I got Nova.
Again, just too much experience, too much bench. And then, as I put it on here, Duke Gonzaga to me will probably be the best head-to-head matchup.
I got to tell you,
in the
I did more than one. So one I took Duke, the other I took Gonzaga.
Really?
That's how.
I went with Duke simply because I like Okafor. I think that one guy can make a difference in this tournament. We've seen it in the years past.
Yeah, it depends on his
so
guys around.
Who you got for your finals?
So then it would be Kentucky and Villanova.
That's why I got Kentucky and Villanova playing, simply because Kentucky to me is just a defensive-minded team, and they just seem too strong.
And I think Villanova takes Duke if it's them who meet. So.
I think Villanova runs Duke into the ground. I think they did it a couple of years ago, where it just seemed like they just took the game over after a while.
And then I think when it gets to the big dance, Kentucky's defense would be too much for Nova.
I shut
them down.
I think Villanova's going to give them
a close game.
I think it's going to be a hell of a game.
I had my pick out score like within 6 points. The final.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be. I don't think you're going to see any blowout or anything. I think there'll be a trend where there might be up some, and then they'll catch back up, so on and so forth. Now here's one thing that everybody's been saying. Do you think at all Kentucky will, obviously other than the first couple seconds or minutes of the game, do you ever think they'll be trailing with 5 minutes left to go in the game at all this whole tournament?
Honestly,
that's what it's got to the point where everybody assumes they're going to win now. Will they actually be losing with 5 minutes left in the game? I mean, are they really all out? I guess they are in a sense, but damn, man,
it could possibly happen in the game before the final. That's about it. Whether it be Wisconsin or Arizona, to me, that's about it. I look at their bracket. I don't really see a problem.
Unfortunately, like my wife says all the time, I really don't pay attention. And I don't really pay attention to college basketball all that much. I only watched a couple games, and really it was a couple of Kentucky games. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing to have one team be so much so-called superior than the rest of the so-called tournament. I mean, even at the end of the year, Kentucky was one, and then Wisconsin, Gonzaga, Duke. They've all flip-flopped back and forth. 2, 3, and 4. I don't know if it's such a good thing to have one team considered so much more superior than everyone else in the country. I don't know if I like that or not.
And this is a year where when you ran through it, you couldn't find a whole lot of upsets as you can in other years. Like we had this pick
I'm almost all chalk.
We had the pick here where if you run it through the computer, it gives you Kentucky, Arizona, Villanova, Duke as your Final Four. Kentucky playing Duke, Kentucky winning.
And I always go with the ratings and all that. What they want. The NCAA wants Kentucky and Duke. Right. How many times will we watch the flashback of Leitner taking that shot? Christ, we'll all be watching that all over again, And Leitner probably, if he can get up off the couch, he'll probably, or they'll have him at the game, so he can chime in on what he felt like making that shot.
It's been on ESPN's 30 for 30.
Oh, it has.
It's called I Hate Christian Leitner.
He was awesome in the NBA.
We have to give a shout out to the producer. She gets right out there, and that is not the common. Okay, she's got the Final Four: Kentucky, Wisconsin, Villanova, Duke, but the championship game is Wisconsin, Duke, with Duke winning.
Wow! And Valpo in the Sweet 16.
Now, that would be a great game too, as well. The way because they've already played earlier this year, if I'm not mistaken. Didn't they?
Wisconsin lost to Duke.
Yes,
but
it was a great game.
Yeah, it was a good game. Interesting.
Yes.
Not to pick the Monty Kentucky.
No, I mean.
I did a bracket without them winning also.
I like that.
I think with Arizona winning or something.
I think I want to see them go undefeated just because I didn't have the pleasure of seeing Indiana.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Then, so,
it's a hard thing to do.
Sticking with basketball, I guess, at this point, I think I said a few weeks ago, I had begun to sip the tea of the Hot Atlanta Hawks. I'm still not ready to have it at my summertime drink, but, I mean, tonight they got a big rematch. They're playing Golden State, and they're at Golden State. Big rematch. Right now, the Hawks got a 10-point game lead on the Cavs, a 10-game lead on the Cavs, and the Golden State's got a 6-game lead on Memphis. These may be the 2 best teams right now. I still don't think that we're going to be watching the finals with the Hawks and Golden State. I'm just not convinced yet.
You're still going to have in the East, and don't laugh, the Bulls are going to get healthy.
Well, apparently he's already.
I don't know. Listen, I don't know what Rose is going to be running like or anything, but this is not just him.
Yeah.
You had McDermott out with a knee problem.
Yes.
You had Tosh Gibson out, and you had the 6'11" guy out. Okay, and Rose. That's 4 players they've been playing without in the starting lineup.
Well, they play hard. They play damn hard basketball.
And so, all 4 of them obviously are going to be rested. Yeah. But when it comes down to that, we get those 4 players back. One of them was a defensive player of the year last year. We get those 4 players back. They're gonna make a stir. And
right now,
it's not going to be a walk for anybody.
I think right now they're fighting right now for the third spot with Washington, Chicago.
Yeah.
So they would have to go. It would be interesting to watch them. It'd be a really nice game to watch in the semifinals. To watch Cleveland and the Bulls go head to head. That would definitely go at least 6-7 games easy. No one's blowing anyone out. And my 76ers, they're obviously playing for the lottery. They're 15-52. They're 1 game over the Knicks right now.
So that number 1 pick.
Yeah, every year they seem like they're going for the number 1 pick. I wonder, after a while, once you have enough number 1s, when do you actually start, it's a joke now because now everybody says that Kentucky can beat the Sixers. It's like, come on already.
Well, you posted they got 1 good player going for him.
Yeah,
shot blocker.
He's a young dude. He's got the flat top.
Yeah.
I can't even remember his name off the top of my head. Again, shows you how much I've been paying attention to
that.
that.
Did they get him from Kentucky?
I think they did. Yes. Yeah, but he is. He's got some talent. On to the NHL at this point, we got ourselves a nice little wild card race starting up in the East. We got 5 teams. Washington right now is leading with the points as far as that. And
this is for who's trying to get in at the
this
end,
is for
the tail end.
Yeah,
okay.
This is the tail end. Right now, Washington in the East is tops with 86 points. And unfortunately, my Flyers, they're down at the bottom. They're like the 5th down. They're with 73 points. And like Mr. Harris says, if he's watching here, he's right. I've been paying attention. They don't win shootouts. If the Flyers get into an overtime shootout, they can't shoot. They can't do nothing when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Over in the West, it's a little bit tighter. You got Minnesota at the top, and you got Colorado, who's only about 10 away, down towards the bottom.
That's a good young team right there, though, the one that's leading.
It's
be tough to break them.
It's like we were saying if the playoffs were to start, you would get all 16 teams in it. There really isn't much of a difference between, let's just say, Washington in the East compared to Montreal, the Islanders, and the Rangers. And over in here, you got Minnesota, and then in the West, you're looking at who the heck's leading in the West right now? Damn, I can't remember off the top of my head.
Kings or something out there?
The Kings are up there. There's who else? Is it Nashville?
Nashville.
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 There's really not much of a difference. I mean, they could they could beat any of these guys. It's amazing how hockey is. It's not as popular as it should be. But damn it, their playoffs ain't the most competitive playoffs we have. It's amazing. Now I was thinking we would move on to, can you believe it or not, to the NFL. I mean,
we had
there's been a little
since
bit.
we've been on, quite a bit of activity.
There's been a lot of movement going on.
Free agency signings and trades.
I wonder if our boy Chippy didn't start some, because I mean we all know he's been moving people around like you wouldn't believe. I mean he's trading stuff more than the New York Stock Exchange. But I want to start off with, and you brought this up prior to the evening before the Super Bowl, about the AFC East and the fact that they might have, that Mr. Brady's going to probably get hit this year, because that defense, from a divisional standpoint, with the Bills, the Jets, and the Dolphins, then you throw in the Patriots, who's got a pretty good defense. Are we looking for this division to take over last year's NFC West, who was supposedly the best defense from a divisional standpoint?
And you could, I will go out and say this right now, based on what happened in free agency so far and trades, of the 4, New England would have on paper anyway, the worst defense of the 4.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I got on here. The Bills did very good for themselves.
Good.
They made that great trade and they got McCoy. They picked up Percy Harvin, so they picked up some speed.
They do have somebody who can throw the ball. I know you're not hot on Castle, but he can lead an offense. He's going to give Manuel, all he can hand over the starting job, and We'll see where that goes.
And it looks like they just stole Clay from the Finns as far as a tight end. He's a pretty good tight end.
That's a lock.
Yeah. He is? It looks like it was about $38 million.
Yeah, he's a bill.
Then I look at the Jets. The Jets went out, and now they got they got Revis and Cromartie back. They went and got Buster and Strine. They got their defensive backs now. It's like, how you gonna throw the ball on them? They went and got a linebacker and David Harris. And I also like that they went and picked up Brandon Marshall. He's not the best dude to have in your locker room, but he probably will fit the Jets because Rex likes those kind of mouthy dudes.
And although Smith can't throw it, Fitzpatrick can.
Yeah, and they got a pretty decent alignment out of that Carpenter guy they got.
Yes.
And then I think the one who at the Finns, they went and got Stompchon. They went and got Sue.
And even though they let Clay loose, they got a better one in Jordan Cameron.
They went and got this kid from the Browns.
Yeah.
I like that they went and got McCann.
Kenny Stills.
And they let Wallace go. Curtis,
Well, they traded him.
They finally got rid of that piece.
They traded him. Got a couple draft picks.
Yeah, they didn't do too bad. They didn't do bad. I like what the Finns are doing. They finally did some on the offseason. They haven't done anything
kid right
in the
here is a
offseason.
speed burner.
Kenny Stills
kept trying to break through New Orleans lineup.
And then I just read that they actually are
Going
in
after
talks
him.
with Crabtree, who's not a bad possession guy. He's not going.
He get over his attitude.
He's the guy on 3rd and 5. He seems that he'll go across the middle and get you that first bomb.
He's got hands.
Definitely. Then I go into, I look at, I look at my boys. I mean, yes, very tough. They lost Murray. But we did go out. They did go get McFadden, and the question is that offensive line that good enough? Is the offensive line good enough to where McFadden can run the
about
rock
to
for
find
him?
out. Did you read my little get-up on that?
I seen that, yeah.
If he stays healthy, the two guys are the same age. They've done just about the same thing together so far in the NFL, although McFadden's been in it for another year or so. He's been injured.
If he's half as good as he was when he was in Arkansas, they got a shot.
The time he's been in last year was the first season he completed all 16 games.
Yes.
So, I mean, I'm thinking with him and then your other guy that you've got.
They got,
Randall.
I call it Thunder and Lightning. They got Randall, and then they got the other guy. I can't remember his name off the top.
I think between that, they're not going to load down McFadden. If he had 200 carries, in that range.
I think they showed you can't just have one guy. It doesn't work. Because they need to run the hell out of the ball because Romo can't have more than 35 attempts. It just doesn't work.
No.
And I don't think AP is going to happen because his contract is so high.
Huge.
He's almost untradeable. The Vikings, unless they're just going to give him away, I don't know. Do you just let it go? It's like, what can you do?
He would have to. He would have to chop.
You couldn't make that trade even beat it with a stick. No point
he could go to Jacksonville or the Raiders. It's about it. I mean,
if they're going to dump that money
somebody can swallow that much money.
Now you can't go to Raiders. They just got Trent Richardson. They're full. They're
Yeah.
packed, man. They got Richardson.
They got that big back. Huh?
They got Tatanka. Do you see how fat that bastard got? Holy shit! But I'll tell you what, the Cowboys did. They re-signed Doug Free. Which also keeps their line intact. I like the middle linebacker they got from San Diego. This dude Andrew. Keep in mind Lee's coming back. Hopefully, if his knees are all right. So the defense is kind of going the right direction. And then what do we do today?
Today, the big day, yeah.
They go and sign Craig Hardy for a 1-year deal, which I like. I still think though he's going to get suspended a few games. I don't know if it's. I'm thinking either 3 to 5 or could it be 5 to 10? I don't know. You seen the difference? I don't know.
No, but this is where we just It's not that you don't agree with me. You just your answer back is, well, that's the NFL, and I'm just not accepting it.
Yeah.
My question is, who does the NFL think they are?
They're God. I don't know.
God,
I think
a
they
czar. How do you punish somebody multiple times for the same offense?
I don't know.
He's going to be in the same category as our little man from the Ravens, Ray Rice. He's going to be in the same thing as Gordon from the the Browns as far as and Hardy's going to be he's the one who's going to be in there and Peterson. This all happened before the NFL just went ahead, wrote up their own little thing, and then just said, here.
You're right.
Well, you have to do that collective bargaining. You can't just add stuff. That's when they have these things and they last for 6-8 years, and that's where you can possibly go on strike. Well, that's because that's what they do. They hammer all this out. But you can't just add stuff as you go along.
Seems like they do.
Now, they did push that through somehow, some way, but all three of these guys, and of course Gordon was there when they was smoking pot, but he's a fourth one, happened before they did these changes. So you can't say, I'm going to penalize you. You know, you've already been under this one here, and now this new one we made, we're going to add that to you. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that. Ray Rice won his case on it already.
You're right.
They spit that back out, and they had to Peterson. I mean, you know, Ray Rice already won it.
You're going to get a kick out of this. I'm telling you, within an hour of Greg Hardy signing, I don't even think the ink on the contract was dry. I get an email from the Dallas website, so I could be the first. I could be the first one to get my hands on the new Greg Hardy jersey, hot off the press. And get this, it comes with its own gun holster and instructions on how to smack the bitch up if she gets out of line.
Nice.
I bought 2 of them.
Nice one, Mike. I was going to add at the end on the end of my statement, by no means am I condoning child beating or wife beating, but these.
But as you said, he made out a deal, though, remember? He didn't do too bad. He paid him not to show up.
Look,
and, you know, just signs a deal.
Look, the man made 13.1 last year, never played but 1 game. So
yeah.
He's down for another 13-1, possibly with incentives.
And then, I guess, you can't talk about the Cowboys without, especially because
now my boy is going to get it on this Eagle thing. I got to hear it.
I'm not, even though I'm a Cowboy fan, you gotta. I kind of like how they want this whole full backfield. One got Murray, they got Matthews, you got Sproles. But you're right,
we are
and
just so different on this.
And then everybody's saying on the TV, they have no one to throw the ball to. So I guess we're just going to stack the middle. You know, we're going to play 8 in the box because there is nobody to throw. Not to mention, I'm not sure if I still believe in Bradford because he's still a one-hobbled, wet-legged man.
You've got it,
And I'm not so big on this Kinko Alonso guy they got from Oregon. I know he's from Oregon and whatever. So I'm not too sure on that. But I guess the question is...
They have your running back. What else do they have?
Here's the question.
Ryan Matthews is a knee ready to blow out.
Is Chippy a genius and ahead of his time, or is he the GOAT?
I'm voting GOAT. Just right off the bat there.
Yeah,
sorry, guys.
He is just cutting and getting rid of people, but he does. Right now they have nobody to throw the ball to. But then here's the kicker, and I know we're all freaking out.
Oh, no.
Tebow. Do you bring Tebow in? My standpoint on Tebow, no, he's not your quarterback. But if he was on special teams, don't you get the feeling that every punt and field goal attempt now, you got to just, where's Tebow?
Maybe Tebow could throw the ball to Bradford.
Could you imagine? I just like the way Tebow plays. Chances are, if they pick him up, he probably will never do it down. He'll do like they did in New England. But I just think Tebow.
It was more for publicity and just working out with the team. He knew he wasn't actually going into the second.
If you go on Facebook, every woman in you see, they're all gaga with Tebow.
It's as if the Beatles stepped off the plane. What's going on?
And for some reason, every game, everything they show you has no clothes on. It's amazing, this guy. Another team, as far as the
really like what they did.
The Colts. Yeah. They went out and they got Frank Gore, they got Andre Johnson, and they went and got Trent Cole for defense. I'm thinking these guys got at least one more year left in those legs. You throw Luck into this mix, that's not a bad little combination.
They got another one too, and I can't even think of who it is, but they needed it.
I can't remember who.
It's good.
But I do think Luck picking up these 2 weapons, considering what he's already got. He actually has it now. He has a pounding running back, which he really needed. They needed to take pressure off of him. He can't throw the ball all the time. So I do like what the Colts did. And then at the end, I do like what the Seahawks did. Bringing in Jimmy Graham, as far as I'm concerned, Wilson now has an insecurity blanket. And it's his big, tight end. Now, there is concerns. What I've seen, they did not address as far as their offensive line is concerned. And also, their defense is going to be 1 year older. And last year, 2 things happened. The Cowboys showed us that you can run the rock right down their throat. And the Patriots showed us in the Super Bowl, quick passes kill them. So now people are going to learn how to play this defense. And their offense is not a scoring machine. That's the only thing that would bother me.
They have Graham, but they still don't have a good wideout.
No, they don't.
They have one possession wideout, basically. And then also these guys that elected not to take any surgery, they're trying to rehab themselves back. That's
really? What's that?
Like Sherman was going to have surgery on his left arm. He elected not to. And the other one with his shoulder,
And I heard
is he going to go? Is Earl Thomas going to be the tackle on the machine he was? With the I don't know.
One thing here, I'm just dying to hear your. What about all this early retirement, especially the latest one that just happened with this 24-year-old kid, Chris Borland?
Is it not
Borland?
Borland. He's from Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny that they're all? I think all of them are from San Francisco, aren't they?
I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's on there. The rice-a-roni. I don't know. It's something. That ain't no San Francisco treat anymore.
Now,
Harbaugh leaves and nobody wants to be there no more.
I got to tell you, I wasn't really. I kind of understood the other ones.
Yeah.
Patrick Willis and that.
Yeah.
He only played last year, Borland's, and I saw in several national games, and of course. Yeah. Where you can watch the red zone every.
Yes.
I saw quite a bit of Frisco, and I don't remember him being concussed and concussed and concussed. It was like a Wes Welker.
Yeah.
And he's still playing, and I don't know.
To me, he's a hard-nosed, hitting, hustling linebacker, and he tends to put his nose into every play.
Right.
What I find that's going to be interesting, I don't think he's going to be a game changer, but what he's going to do is the 10% of the players in the NFL that actually can read and write and then go on to get a job after the NFL, they're all going to start looking at this and try. And you may start seeing guys, they may not return the first year, but once they get their big contract and things, and they have a life after NFL, I don't think the superstars, but I do see some of these guys taking off early.
I'm not going to quite go that far because he's just an example.
Yeah.
That's not the norm.
Yeah.
Okay, a lot of people have played plenty of football and they're fine.
Yeah, you're right.
I will say this, and I'm sure this is going to be the NFL's next angle. They've already used it today on ESPN. Had a doctor come on there, went through the whole Borland story and all this stuff, and he claims that having your child play football is no more dangerous or maybe even safer than riding a bike.
No, you're right. They can get hurt anywhere.
Right.
It's funny you got this in your hand. Michael over at his school, and probably a lot of schools do this, he has a reading program, and on a weekly basis he's got to bring books home to read, and we read them together. Believe it or not, I can read, well, at least first grade level anyway. And then he takes tests on it. Well, look at the book he brought home tonight that we're going to be reading. I thought you get a kick out of it. And when I said, Michael, why'd you bring this book home? Do you know who that is? He goes, I brought it home because the guy, he races cars and he looks cool. That's why he brought this home. So we're going to read a little bit about Dale tonight. He's going to have a test on it tomorrow morning. So I thought that'd be pretty neat. I mean, he's getting into racing. Well, we got to start wrapping this up. Either our producer's flying away literally, or we're being told cut it quick. Everybody, don't forget, check us out. We're on Facebook with two guys, Just Sports, no TMZ, /
Don't forget
Facebook.
your brackets. I think you have time till the first game starts tomorrow.
Don't forget your brackets, and don't
to
forget.
Get it in. Yeah.
You can find me on Mondays and Friday nights over at Taekwondo United in Fort Myers. Master Jeff, you can watch him. He kicks my butt 2 days a week. And if you want, I'm out there. I can sign some autographs. I can do a couple karate chops. I'll put a show on for you. But everybody, enjoy the tournament.
I should say more than tomorrow, so they don't know. So by Thursday, starting
yes,
the first game.
This real stuff starts Thursday night. Have a good one.